believe in salvation by grace through faith.
According to the Bible, by grace are we saved through faith. We receive salvation by believing on the Lord Jesus Christ.
Galatians 2:16 says this, and not by the works of the law, for by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified in his sight. I mean, could you get any more clear?
If it's salvation by grace through faith, as Ephesians 2:8 and 9 declares, then it's not salvation by grace through faith plus surrender plus promises plus enduring to the end or plus anything else. It's salvation by grace through faith, period.
You say, well, I thought everybody believed that. Oh, really? Because the Catholics don't. The Protestants don't believe in salvation by grace through faith. Don't give lip service to it. But when you talk to them, you gotta get baptized and you gotta live a certain way and do certain things. The Pentecostals don't. They believe you gotta get baptized to be saved.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Prophetic Revelation, a live stream open mic broadcast. And the discussion tonight is going to be on the 4 horsemen and 7 seals of the apocalypse. You can find an introduction to this in chapter 5. Start with verse 1. First, let me put the link in the comment section so that you can join if you dare. Follow the link to join the open mic discussion. There you go. So I'll bring you in here if you just click that link that's in the top of the comment section. Chapter 5, verse 1. I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written, within and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven nor on earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open, and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 5, And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Now I will share my screen, and then we'll get into these slides that I have prepared. Anytime during this presentation, you can join. I'll bring you in here. You'll have your own little box. I gotta get this pulled up real quick. Almost there. Alright, now just one thing, gotta get used to that. My full screen. So we're looking at the 4 horsemen and 7 seals of the apocalypse. So let's give a little bit of a historical background to what is essentially going to be the first 4 book, the story of the apocalypse. So those first 4 seals are going to be the first 4 seals are 4 horsemen. And these 4 horsemen describe what is known as the tribulation. Now, if you go all the way back to Daniel chapter 11, what? Brindley's getting a sucker, so I'm going to put this on pause real quick. Go ahead. Pick which one you want. So, Daniel, you have Jerusalem between Syria and Egypt. And that is what Daniel 11 is. A record of that. But in that, the end of it is kind of Antiochus Epiphanes. He was like a Greek ruler, and he actually desecrated the temple, the second temple of the Jews, which Cyrus king had erected. He is a foreshadowing Antichrist. So some of what is written about Antiochus Epiphanes in Daniel 11 would be fulfilled in his lifetime. But then other parts of it are not fulfilled. They would be fulfilled by the person. So Daniel 11, even according to Wikipedia, is considered very accurate. All major conflicts are mentioned in the 6 Syrian wars described in great detail. This is where Jerusalem is changing hands at least 7 times in between Syria and Egypt. So it says in Daniel 11:28, towards the end of the chapter, then shall he return into his hand with great riches. His heart shall be against the holy covenant. He shall do exploits and return to his own land. He doesn't like the religion of the Jews. He goes to persecute it, basically. And it says, at the appointed time he shall return and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. The ships of Shittim or Cyprus shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So he's going to hate the Jewish religion. He's actually going to desecrate their temple, and he will put up basically like an idol of a pig or something. And so he actually did that. So he didn't desolate the temple, though. He didn't destroy it. And so it's a partial fulfillment. He also didn't do the miracles that the Antichrist is going to do. So it's just a foreshadowing of the Antichrist, but he does put in, desolate the temple with an idol. In the temple, an altar to Zeus Olympius was erected, and sacrifices were to be made at the feet of an idol in the image of the king, according to Britannica. And that's actually where we get the holiday Hanukkah's celebration of the rededication of the temple after he had done that. So that verse right there was actually fulfilled. He was stopped by the ships of Shittim. So that's a historical thing that happened with this guy. He's a literal prophecy fulfillment, and then typology of a future more entire fulfillment of the passage. Arms shall stand on his part. They shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, take away the daily sacrifice, and place the abomination that maketh desolate. He literally did do this. He polluted the sanctuary of strength. There's nothing specifically in this verse of, he placed the abomination that maketh desolate. And so that part right there was partially fulfilled because he set up an image, but there was no destruction of the temple there. So like I said, he only partially fulfills these prophecies. Daniel 9:25. Then going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. So this is what is known as the 70th week. You have it is divided, and I'll show you that here. Right here, 7 weeks, 62 weeks. That's a total of 69 weeks, which is 483 years. And then there's one final week. It says he's going to confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, the overspreading of abominations shall he make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured on the desolate. And this right here was partially fulfilled by the Roman Empire, which actually destroyed that second temple, which Antiochus Epiphanes didn't do. But they didn't set up an image afterwards. That's what the Antichrist does. So they're just, this is just a partial fulfillment of something that will come. So you go back to weeks here, though. So Cyrus, essentially, the Prince of Persia, he's going to decree that there's going to be a building of the second Jewish temple. That's the first 7 weeks there. And then you have, and 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, the wall even in troublous time. So 62 weeks is 62 weeks. You have 62 plus 7, which is, so I'm showing right here, 69 weeks. And that's a total of 483 years. So you have from Cyrus the Persian, 483 years after, basically, the death of Jesus. And then in 70 AD, the destruction of the temple, which covers this week right here. But, you know, and there's a, it's a 7-year war. And so the war, the temple is destroyed in the middle of that war, literally 3.5 years into that war. So this is definitely a partial fulfillment, but you see how there's one final week attached to the 69. So this week itself, this 7-year period will actually repeat itself. Not only the Antichrist, the things that he will do, this 1 week, this 7-year period will again happen in the future. It says in Matthew 24:15, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Daniel 9:26. Let's look at this, and then we'll get into the actual seals that are in chapter 6. It says, after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, and not for himself. And so we're at 69 weeks there when Messiah is cut off. We still have 1 week to go. The people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. That's talking about the Roman-Jewish war, which partially fulfilled this. And then you have the future 7-year period will also be divided into 3.5. So I guess I can break that down, and then we can get into Revelation chapter 6. No one in the comment section. Doesn't look like anybody yet. So the first 3.5 years of this final 7 weeks will be probably the building of the temple, the decree to, restore the Jewish temple, which would be the third temple that they've had in their history of their religion. So that's the third temple. So that's the probably when it's announced that they get the permit to do it will be the first 3.5. But we want to focus on is that last 3.5, which is known as the to rise and fall of the New Testament, 5-part seminar on eschatology, interpreting the book of Revelation. You can go to the other playlist, which is a seminar on the end of time. It's another 5-part seminar on eschatology. Revelation. I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see." I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. A crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, what we see following after him is a red horse. Looks like the camera is going off and on. So it's going to call all the nations to worship this image, basically, to come to the dedication of the image which he had set up. And if they don't come to it, just like Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, he did the exact same thing. If they didn't come, this is what's happening. He's sending out his message, and he's sending out his ones who don't come to the image. Gotta get a drink here. So that's why it says he goes forth to conquer. When he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." There went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and they were given unto him a great sword. So this is that conquering. Okay? And then it says, when he'd opened the first seal, I heard, and that would be essentially World War III, by the way. And the third beast, a black horse. He that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine." So you're selling basic bread at an extremely high price. So everybody's very, very poor. The general population is very poor, but you still have a very powerful. That's why men are not being hurt. And the oil, obviously, is going to be required to transport them, because we run on cars today. So everybody's still going back and forth, but they're under a new economy now, which is the mark of the beast. And that's what this life is. Enforced mark where you get the mark. And under this one world economy, this one world global currency, it starts out with a lot of famine, or at least it probably begins, like you're living as a king, but then it's like bait and switch, the next thing you know, you're poor anyways. And so there's a fear world currency. When you open the force seal, I heard the power into him over the part of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And so during this conquering, there's a death toll of the military conquering, a death toll of the hunger, And then not only that, but beasts of the earth. And then, of course, famine. People say a massive death toll here, and a lot of people that are unsaved, or people, and then people that end up taking the mark, when they die, and the hunger and all that, they go to hell for him. When you open the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. So the four horsemen. The first horse, the white horse, is the Antichrist. The second horse is his military power. The third horse is the mark of the beast. And so the white is the Antichrist. The red, which is the second horse, is the military, the one of World War III. And then, or four, if we have another war before then, I don't know. But the third horse, which is black, death. And that will be basically covering the entire tribulation, which is why you see here, and then you have people that were slain or beheaded, died during the tribulation, or are currently in the tribulation. And so they cried with a loud voice, saying, "Who dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" White robes were given unto every one of them. It was said that they should rest for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren should be killed as they were. Should be as they were. And we know that method of execution, which is Islamic, and that's beheading. You chop someone's head off. Now, it says Christians that are going to have to die under the New World Order because they're not going to take the mark, or they're going to get saved, and then they're going to die. So, this will be out at the 75 days of tribulation. So, those through the first half years, where you're with the building, and then it sets up an image. Then you go into World War III. You have the mark of the beast, and then everybody starts dying, and so the Christians start dying on a scale. It's cut short by the rapture, and then the remainder of the 3.5 year period will be the wrath of God and the two witnesses, and then 144,000 Old Testament saints preaching the gospel to the whole world. And where you get that is the last chapter of Daniel 12, where it talks about blessed is he who comes to the 1,335 days. 1,090 days of Daniel, that period, the Great Tribulation. But it's cut short because it says 1,335. So that's 75 from 1,260. If you use Revelation, the numbers in Revelation for the Great Tribulation, 1,260 days. And say those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So Jesus is going to shorten those days. He's going to come 75 days into the Great Tribulation and rapture everybody out. But there will still be people left on the earth to experience the wrath of God, who can still get and brethren should be killed as they were. And so Christians who are going to get saved basically too late. They're going to end up going to heaven, but they're going to have to experience the wrath of God. And then they will join these people that are in the white robes. It says, I beheld when he opened the is what Jesus talked about. He said, after the tribulation of those days, the sun and the moon are going to go dark. And I have some slides for that, so let's get into those. There we go. It says in Matthew 24:29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, stars of heaven shall fall, the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And so that is 75 days in to the tribulation. And then this right here is the sixth seal, the sun and the moon being darkened, and this will be Jesus Christ coming into that darkness as a shining light, to end the tribulation for the saints, at least the ones who got saved up until that point. They will be raptured, and then the earth will experience the wrath of God. Because Jesus said in that very passage that after this happens, after the tribulation, after the sun and moon go dark, that he would appear in the clouds, that he would send his angels to gather the elect. It said, so let's go back to Revelation chapter 6. Verse 13, the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth their untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Heaven departed as a scroll, when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island removed out of their places. Removed out of their places. A lot of tectonic activity going on here. The continents are separated into plates, so there's going to be, some shifting of all those plates. Create huge volcanic activity. A lot of volcanoes and stuff going on, and the islands are not going to make that. So I'd get off the islands if I were you at that time. It says every mountain and every island. So total molten state of the earth, basically. very few places on earth, because we know that some people will survive. We know that it's not going to be all molten at once, but it will be covered all in basalt, basically. The part of those scrolls, though, a lot of stars, comets, meteors, asteroids, they're going to be coming down onto the Earth. And the stars themselves are going to be observably moving across the sky, across the universe as a scroll. Terrifying to witness that and to experience the downpour of fire and breath. Themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains, said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? And this referring to Jesus Christ, who they will see coming in the cloud for him. And then they will know that no day is wrath. They're actually praying for an avalanche situation to occur. So they're actually praying for an avalanche situation to occur just so that they don't have to face it. Now, if you look in, maybe we won't get into that, but the seventh seal, great. When he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came, given to him much incense that he should offer with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God into the angel's hand. So remember that there's all he judges the earth, and so the sun and the moon goes dark. They're all praying. The smoke of the incense goes up. The angel took the censer, filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And that's why in the first trumpet, there is hail and fire mingled with blood, because they do actually. At the end, all sinners from the earth, and there will be some unsaved people left as a result of that. But all of the wicked will end up dying and will enter into the millennial reign of Christ. So that has been the four horsemen and seven seals of the apocalypse. And hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. God.
We believe in salvation by grace through faith.
According to the Bible, by grace are we saved through faith. We receive salvation by believing on the Lord Jesus Christ.
Galatians 2:16 says this, and not by the works of the law, for by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified in his sight. I mean, could you get any more clear?
If it's salvation by grace through faith, as Ephesians 2:8 and 9 declares, then it's not salvation by grace through faith plus surrender plus promises plus enduring to the end or plus anything else. It's salvation by grace through faith, period.
You say, well, I thought everybody believed that. Oh, really? Because the Catholics don't. The Protestants don't believe in salvation by grace through faith. Don't give lip service to it. But when you talk to them, you gotta get baptized and you gotta live a certain way and do certain things. The Pentecostals don't. They believe you gotta get baptized to be saved.